My friend, I don't believe that you're fooling anybody. We know what's in the Quran. Um, you act as if we have no idea. I'm familiar with these public relations stunts, and I know how they work. I know that in the Quran, you're commanded, Surah 9, for instance, you're commanded to take over the world for Islam. I mean, that's pretty plain. Any of us who've read, especially somebody like myself, read the Quran at least 3 times all the way through. So this little public relations stunt is not going to work, on at least on me. And I think more and more of us are getting wise to the tricks. I mean, we know you're in America, you're outnumbered, you can't resort to the violence. The pattern's pretty clear in the Quran. You're in the stage now where you have to recite verses like, there is no compulsion in religion. We know this, okay. But when the time comes, when through demographics you get a threshold of power and population, you may find it more useful to resort to violence, in which case we'll have verses like Surah 9, ayat 29 through 31. Fight those who believe not in God, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which has been forbidden by Allah and His apostle, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are of the people of the book, of course Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizah with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Okay, so you are allowing us eventually to save our lives by converting or paying this tax. That's where you need to go if you're truly a Muslim. Now, you didn't represent that in your video. I would like to suggest that Islam is also the most misrepresented, I might add, in deceitful ways, religion. You you failed to mention what you think we're not going to know. I don't think that there's enough of us that are that dumb anymore. I think that a lot of us have done our homework, and not all of us are as coward as the leaders of the country. However, here's what you got going for you. I think that since the leadership is so coward, and the people that are in power in the world see that Islam is coming, they're going to capitulate to your demands, so long as they're going to be able to stay on top of the world, so to speak. In other words, the people that are in control, the multinational media and multinational commerce, I think they're going to cooperate with the demands of Islam in the long run. And as long as you know, and they're going to say, look, we provided this opportunity for you guys to, to Islamicize this nation and that nation and so forth, so you will spare our lives. But they don't care what happens to us, of course. And I think most people, the average American would probably capitulate. I mean, if they had the choice of saving their life or converting to Islam, I think they will do that. But you're not there yet, and you understand that. That's why you got to soft sell and pretend like, yeah, we're not really about anything but trying to be good. Yeah, sure, we know. It's so obvious, especially the more Islam thrives, the more they take that attitude. And I know, of course, you have your exception little communities in, say, Saudi Arabia that they will allow, so long as they pay the taxes and so forth. But that's just for political leverage, so you can point to them. They're not allowed to go out on the street and talk to Muslims freely and say, oh, by the way, I noticed this in your Quran. It's not historically accurate. Are you concerned about the truth? And would you like to learn more about the truth or something like this? See, that wouldn't be tolerated in any kind of Islamic ruled nation. You know that. We're not like born yesterday. And I think that's part of the problem here, is that Islam thrives on people who happen to be born yesterday, or poorly educated, and I think your video attests to that, or illiterate, or coward. and that's where they're going to get their most converts towards the end. They're not going to, there's going to be a lot of capitulation. So there, I have a word of encouragement. I do think that you guys are going to get pretty far in the West in the long run. I do believe Christ is going to come back and stop it all. But when you turn on Israel, but there you go. There you have it. For what it's worth, we're not fooled.